Welcome to Kansas State University's Graduate School Commencement. Graduate studies are the hallmark of a great research institution and serve society through the discovery of knowledge and creative endeavors. Kansas State University granted its first master's degree in 1871. Today, the university offers 107 graduate-level programs to more than 4,000 students. Graduate students play a crucial role in the economic development of the state of Kansas, the country, and around the globe. It all begins with a passion for discovery, for learning, whether in the arts or engineering, in the lab, in the field, or in a classroom. This passion fuels success, resulting in prestigious scholarships, fellowships, patent awards, and scientific breakthroughs. With an esteemed and distinguished faculty to mentor them, the graduate experience at K-State is befitting a world-class institution. The mace, the robe, the hooding ceremony are symbols of the high academic achievement these scholars have attained, placing them among the most learned people in the world.
Please rise as you are able and join Ms. Morgan Higgins in singing the national anthem. Please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Charles Tabor, Provost and Executive Vice President of Kansas State University. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this commencement ceremony. Before we proceed, I would like to introduce the members of the platform party. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Platform party, as I read your name, please stand. Beginning at your far left, we have Linda Cook, Chief of Staff and Director of Community Relations, Peter Dorhout, Vice President for Research, Emily Pascoe, President, Graduate Student Council, Sunanda Disanayake, Associate Dean, Graduate School, Kimberly Kirkpatrick, Distinguished Graduate Faculty, T.G. Nagaraja, Distinguished Graduate Faculty, Ernie Minton, Interim Dean, College of Agriculture, Secretary Daniel Glickman, Commencement Speaker and Honorary Degree Recipient, Carol Shanklin, Dean, Graduate School, Richard Myers, President, Kansas State University, Dennis Mullen, Regent, Kansas Board of Regents, Mary Beth Kirkham, University Distinguished Professor, David Poole, University Distinguished Professor, James Shiro, University Distinguished Professor, Amy Button-Renz, President and CEO, K-State Alumni Association, Cindy Bontrager, Vice President for Administration and Finance. Continuing with the second row from your left, we have Debbie Mercer, Dean, Education, Kevin Gwinner, Dean, Business Administration, Darren Dawson, Dean, Engineering, John Buckwalter, Dean, Human Ecology, Tim DeNoble, Dean, Architecture, Planning and Design, Amit Chakrabarti, Dean, Arts and Sciences, Lori Getch, Dean, University Libraries, Karen Peterson, Dean, K-State Global Campus, Bonnie Rush, Interim Dean, College of Veterinary Medicine, Jackie Spears, Interim Associate Dean for K-State Olathe, Jeffrey Morris, Vice President for Communication and Marketing, Jay Stevens, Vice President for Human Capital Services, Pat Bosco, Vice President for Student Life and Dean of Students, Marcellus Caldas, Assistant Provost, International Programs, Greg Willems, President and CEO, KSU Foundation, and Spencer Wood, President, Faculty Senate. Please join me in giving our platform party a round of applause. The marshals for today's ceremony are Gerard Klutenberg, Professor Agronomy, Ronaldo Magurang, Associate Dean, College of Engineering, Evan Tidgmeyer, Professor and Interim Department Head, Animal Sciences and Industry, Kristen Corwin, Associate Dean, College of Arts and Sciences, Kenneth Huey, Professor and Department Head, Special Education, Counseling and Student Affairs, John Morris, Professor, Accounting, Bronwyn Fees, Associate Dean, College of Human Services, and Glade Topham, Associate Professor, Family Studies and Human Services. And Bronwyn is the College of Human Ecology. That was wrong. Okay, the reader for today's ceremony is Vincent Carlisle, Graduate School. Please join me again in a round of applause for these individuals. It's my pleasure now to introduce Regent Dennis Mullen. Dennis A. Mullen was appointed to the Kansas Board of Regents by Governor Sam Brownback in 2015, and he currently serves as board chairman. The chairman of Steel and Pipe Supply, Mullen leads one of the largest steel service centers in the nation. Mullen earned his bachelor's degree in 1970 from Pittsburgh State University, graduating as the outstanding senior man. He was a Pittsburgh State University Outstanding Young Alumnus in 1984. Mullen is a member of the Business Advisory Council for the College of Business Administration at Kansas State University. He's a trustee emeritus for the KSU Foundation and a board member of the KS State Bank of Manhattan. He was selected as Entrepreneur of the Year by Ernst Young and Inc. magazine for the state of Kansas and Western Missouri in 1995. Mullen is a past president and chairman of the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce, the Manhattan Rotary Club, and the Greater Manhattan Community Foundation. He is a founding member and president of the Boys and Girls Club, Flint Hills Breadbasket, and Flint Hills Christian School, all of Manhattan. He and his wife Rhonda have 2 children and 4 grandchildren. In his free time, he enjoys watching his grandchildren play sports and everything K-State. Please join me in welcoming Regent Mullen.
President Myers, Secretary Glickman, graduates, family members, alumni, and friends, I am delighted to join you today in this very special occasion on behalf of the Kansas Board of Regents. Graduates, congratulations on this amazing accomplishment. It is an honor to be here to celebrate your graduation with you on this very special occasion with your loved ones. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this special day. As a regent, I like to share the story of higher education in Kansas with the people that I meet across the state. It is a positive and uplifting story, one that carries a message of tremendous promise. Higher education helps Kansas families with better wages. It allows Kansas businesses to hire skilled workers. It supports Kansas communities through innovation, research, and economic development. In the short, it is one of the most important investments this state can make, and one that offers an incredible return to the Kansas economy. That is the big picture, and it is important. But as you get close to the situation, you will notice that this big picture is a mosaic comprised of thousands of smaller ones, each representing a story that is far more compelling and interesting. That is your story. Ernest Hemingway once said, "Life told truly is a novel." Graduates, there will be many days, maybe even most days, when your lives won't seem quite that exciting. But as each one of you writes your life story day by day, know that your contributions to our society are important and meaningful. You are the reason higher education is so important and worthwhile investment for our state. You spent years at Kansas State University dedicating yourself, your time, and your financial support in self-improvement. You've marched up to the current bounds of the knowledge in your field, challenged that standard of knowledge, and even contributed to it. Each assignment, discussion comments, group projects, papers, and exams may have seemed a little just to-do items or even trivial, but every bit of that work has built to broaden your knowledge that led to the degree that you are receiving today. Today, you see one of the first of many returns on your investment in higher education. I encourage you to keep your higher education journey in mind as you move throughout your lives. In the same way that your work at this university was an investment in yourself, then continue learning and hard work that will follow throughout your career is an additional investment, not only to your lives, but to the world around you. During your time at Kansas State University, you have strived to become the best possible version of yourself. You have spent countless hours honing your skills and increasing your knowledge. With the support of faculty, staff, and your peers, you are now prepared to take on challenges and solve problems that you cannot yet imagine. How you have overcome these hurdles will be the personal story of your successes, but we will all benefit from your accomplishments as you build businesses, grow industries, educate future generations, care for the sick, maybe even make breakthroughs in research and innovation. Our state, our country, our world will benefit for it. Your fellow Wildcats will be with you every step of the way. Today you graduate, and that marks the end of your journey as students. But as an alumni, you will forever be a part of the K-State family. Like all good families, this one is excited to cheer you on for your success, boast on your accomplishments, and support you in any way we can. And I'm confident that you will do the same for your fellow Wildcats. I hope that many of you have decided to continue your journey right here in the state of Kansas. Our state will certainly be better if you have made that choice. Yet, wherever your path may lead you, know that your alma mater and this state are proud of all that you have accomplished. No matter where your life takes you, you will always be home, a part of Kansas State University. Graduates, on behalf of the Kansas Board of Regents, I say congratulations and God bless you.
At this time, we would like to honor 3 faculty members as University Distinguished Professors, the highest honor the university can bestow to recognizing outstanding contributions to teaching, research, and service. Today, we honor Mary Beth Kirkham, David Poole, and Jim Shiro. These distinguished faculty members are passionate about their research and making a positive impact on the world. Each will henceforth carry the title University Distinguished Professor. I invite you to refer to your program to read the full text tribute to each honoree. Dr. Kirkham, would you please join me at the podium? Mary Beth Kirkham is professor in agronomy. She is an international authority on plant-water relations of winter wheat and the uptake of heavy metals by crops grown on polluted soil. She was the first researcher to document the effects of elevated levels of carbon dioxide on crops grown under semi-arid conditions. She also researches the effects of gravity on plants. Kirkham came to Kansas State University in 1980. Her research has been supported by organizations such as the National Science Foundation, the Department of Energy, the Department of Agriculture, and the U.S. Office Water Research and Technology. Please join me in recognizing Mary Beth Kirkham as we confer on her the title University Distinguished Professor. Dr. Poole, would you please join me at the podium? David Poole is professor with joint appointments in kinesiology and in anatomy and physiology at Kansas State University. His discoveries have helped define how oxygen is transported from the lungs to be used by tissue mitochondria. Using innovative models at rest and during exercise, Poole has identified key sites of metabolic control in health and disease. He has been awarded more than $5 million as principal investigator and $17.9 million as co-investigator in research grants from the National Institutes of Health, National Science Foundation, and the American Heart Association. Please join me in recognizing David Poole as we confer on him the University Distinguished Professor. Dr. Shiro, would you please join me at the podium? Jim Shiro is a noted historian with research and teaching interests in environmental history, Kansas history, North American Indian history, and the history of the American West. He is the author of 6 books, and along with the awards he has received for his teaching and scholarly research, Shiro is actively involved in public history and historic preservation. He has served for 10 years as the governor-appointed Kansas historian on the Kansas Historic Sites Boards of Review. He also was elected to the Manhattan City Commission in 2017 for a 2-year term, re-elected in 2009 for a 4-year term, and served as mayor from 2011 to 2012. Please join me in recognizing Jim Shiro as we confer on him the title University Distinguished Professor.
The Commerce Bank and the William T. Kemper Foundation Distinguished Graduate Faculty Award honors faculty members who are recognized authority nationally and internationally for their excellence in scholarship, research, teaching, and mentoring at the graduate level. The award carries with it an honorarium provided by the William T. Kemper Foundation and the Commerce Bank Share Foundation. Today we honor 2 faculty members, Kimberly Kirkpatrick and T.G. Najaraja. I invite you to refer to the program to read the full text of their tribute to each individual. Dr. Kirkpatrick, will you join me at the podium? Kimberly Kirkpatrick is a professor of psychological sciences and the director of the Psychological Sciences Department's Cognitive and Neurobiological Approaches to Plasticity Center. The center is funded by a $10.6 million grant from the National Institute of General Medical Sciences. The center is currently funding 4 primary projects, 3 pilot projects, and 3 research ones. Activities related to this project are being implemented not only at Kansas State University, but at Wichita State University and the University of Kansas Medical Center. Please join me in recognizing Kimberly Kirkpatrick as Distinguished Graduate Faculty. TG, would you join me at the podium, please? TG Nagaraja, a University Distinguished Professor of Microbiology in the College of Veterinary Medicine, Diagnostic Medicine and Pathobiology Department, is highly regarded researcher on gut microbiology of cattle. Supplemented by extramural funding of more than $11 million, predominantly from the United States Department of Agriculture and noted animal health companies. Nagaraja's work has focused primarily on the role of rumen microbes in the function and dysfunctions of rumen, particularly liver abscesses of cattle, and on foodborne pathogens, which focuses on Shigella, toxin-producing E. coli, and Salmonella in cattle. His work has resulted in 7 U.S. patents. Please join me in recognizing T.G. Nagaraja as a University Distinguished Graduate Faculty.
An honorary degree is among the highest honors a university can bestow, and thus is reserved for those who have contributed in very significant ways to advance the quality of life for our citizens and the world. It is therefore with honor and great pride that Kansas State University recognizes an outstanding leader, Secretary Daniel Glickman. Please turn your attention to the video board for a special introduction of Daniel Glickman, our honorary degree recipient and commencement speaker.
Dan Glickman has led a life of public service, always striving to make life better for others. He grew up in Wichita, Kansas, a middle child who was always the peacemaker. His family owned a scrap iron business and an independent oil and gas company. They also owned the Wichita Arrows, a AAA baseball team. While in college, he ran for president of his senior class. He graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in History from the University of Michigan. While there, he met his wife, Rhoda, when they were both in the cast of a theatrical production called Wonderful Town. They married in 1966 and have 2 children. Dan went to law school and received his jurisprudence from the George Washington University. He was a partner in a Wichita law firm and worked as a trial attorney at the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Dan gave back to his hometown, too, and was a member and president of the Wichita School Board, his first public office. In 1976, Dan ran for Congress and was a member of the U.S. House of Representatives for 18 years. He served on many committees and was a leading congressional expert on general aviation policy. During his time there, more airplanes were made in the 4th District than any place else in the world. He was also a member of the House Agriculture Committee for the entire time he was in Congress. Dan realized early in his political career that in order to serve the rural population in his district, he needed to know more about agriculture.
Well, he relied very heavily on K-State to educate him, to do research, to work with the public on ag policy. He understood what our mission was and how we could help his constituents and him, and he has an extremely sharp mind and a big heart.
It was important to Dan to continue his work helping farmers and to feed the hungry. President Clinton appointed Dan to be the Secretary of Agriculture in 1995. Dan spoke at a K-State Land and Lecture that year, and again in 2013 with a panel of 6 former U.S. Secretaries of Agriculture. After leaving office in 2001, Dan was director of the Institute of Politics at Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School of Government. He then served as chairman of the Motion Picture Association of America, Incorporated. When asked about his qualifications for that job, he would answer that in the agriculture department, he used to grow popcorn, and now he sells popcorn. Dan's lifelong role as peacemaker and his belief that bipartisanship is what really works in getting things done propelled Dan to his next position as Vice President of the Aspen Institute and Executive Director of the Aspen Institute Congressional Program. This is a nonpartisan public policy education and civility building program for members of the United States Congress. He is also a senior fellow at the Bipartisan Policy Center in Washington, D.C.
One of the very special things about Dan, after many years of service in Congress, was staying in public service, focused a lot on food issues, feeding the world, the growing population. He's just been very active, leading, not just being on committees, but leading efforts to deal with the agricultural challenges. It is not very often that someone who did so much in Washington, D.C. continues to do good things with the private sector, with various entities.
So that's been the core, is public service, and this is a land-grant university, so the two, his private mission and our public mission, perfectly match. And there's very few people connected with K-State that has had the career he's had.
We honor this Kansan for all he has done for our state and our nation. Please welcome Dan Glickman.
Well, Secretary Glickman, for your leadership, your character, your humanity, and your goodwill by the authority of the people of Kansas and the Kansas Board of Regents, and upon the recommendation of the Kansas State University faculty, I am pleased to confer the Kansas State University Honorary Doctorate of Philosophy degree with all of its rights, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're going to put this hood on you.
Okay, so I don't have to do anything.
It looks like it's pretty much ready to go.
Okay.
When you say,
Yep. Do you need to take this off? Or
I
think
think
we can get it over?
we're going to try this.
Yeah. Okay. Not gonna choke me to death, are you, before I start?
It's a perfect fit. Now look at this, Doctor.
Dr. Glickman.
Now, just a minute. I think we want to. Do we want to get a picture of the over here? Let's go over here, and I'm gonna take the diploma. We're gonna hold it between us. So you stand in the center, and we'll put this right here in front of you.
Leave here with more than I can.
You're gonna leave here with a lot of stuff. So that's the way to do it. A lot of distinguished. Thank you for gracing us here.
You're welcome. Appreciate it.
Presidents.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So would you now take this opportunity to give us a few comments?
I'd love to.
Okay.
First of all, General Myers, thank you. You know, you have one of the great Americans as your president. He was chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He's an example of public service at the highest level, and he deserves a special applause. He is an amazing man, you know. By the way, General, my wife and my mother, wife who's here, especially my mother, always wanted me to be a doctor. So I'm a doctor, but don't get sick. That's all I can tell you, all right? And I would say to a few others, Governor John Carlin, a great American, close personal friend of mine,
here at K-State. My special friend, Dr. Barry Flinchbaugh, many of you know him in the room. He has no personality, no sense of humor, and we've been very good friends for a very long time. So if you don't like my speech, he wrote it. So, I also thank Regent Mullen for your terrific words as well. So, you know, coming out here on the plane, somebody said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to Manhattan, Kansas." And they said, "Well, what's there?" And I usually don't like to tell people what I'm doing, so I said, "I'm going to make a speech." And there's another guy right next to me. He says, "Oh, I know what's there. They have an opening for a new football coach." All right? So first of all, I think that your coach, Bill Snyder, deserves a special hand for what he's done for K-State football over all these years. However, in the words of former President Johnson, who you may recall decided not to run for president, most of you in this room are too young to remember that, in 1968, he decided not to run for re-election. He said the following, and I'm going to change the words a little bit for this. So I'm out at K-State. I know you're looking for a new coach. I know the athletic director and the president are looking for a new coach, but I will not seek, nor will I accept the nomination to be the next football coach at Kansas State University. I am too young for the job, okay? But good luck to you on your search. So I am really delighted to be here. And the other people I want to recognize, I mean, the graduates, both master's and doctoral students are great, but I think your families deserve a special hand for putting up with you, for paying for your education and everything else. I mean, these are the folks that made the difference in your lives. So it's a great thing being here at K-State. I mean, the university is ranked consistently in the top 20 nationally. It's the oldest public university in Kansas, a strong advocate for good values, for gender equality from the very beginning. Highest national total of prestigious scholars among all public universities in the United States. Pretty fabulous stuff. Nationally recognized programs in biodefense. I went out to see the NBAF facility today, and in food research and engineering and architecture and business and so many different areas. You have really a lot to be proud of. And it also has one of the highest job placement rates in the country for undergraduate and graduate students. As I mentioned, it is the home of the NBAF facility, which I had a little bit to do with because then Governor Sebelius pointed me to the Bioscience Authority, Kansas Bioscience Authority, many years ago. So I'm proud to see what that's going to do to augment the ability of this university to continue to be a national force. As you saw from some of the video that you saw, there are two things about me. One is I have a lot less hair than I did when I was started in public service. But, you know, I'm a native of Wichita. I come from a more urban background. My family was not involved in agriculture. But when I came to the U.S. House of Representatives, along at the same time with my good friend Pat Roberts, who came just shortly thereafter, I recognize the power and importance of food, of agriculture, and rural America as part of this nation's fabric. So it led me to being Secretary of Agriculture later on. It demonstrated to me the importance of farm, agriculture, rural, and food issues. I often think when people talk about agriculture, they don't put the word food with it. After all, why do we grow anything? It's by and large to eat, which is the sustenance of life. And it reinforced my commitment in ensuring that we meet the world's food needs. Now, I know we have graduates from a myriad of different backgrounds here, but I just want to talk for a moment about the challenges of food and agriculture. And there are so many of them, and they're cross-jurisdictional. One of them has to do with water. 70% of the water in the world is to irrigate crops and used in agriculture. 30% is for everything else. All the consumers, urbanization, and everything else. Big challenge for agriculture. You're working on a lot of those programs here. Soil health. I heard with some of the credentials of the university professors how critical soil health is not only here in the United States, but globally, so that the rest of the world, the developing world, can become self-sufficient. Challenges of plant and animal disease. The changing diets in this country and the relationship between diet, nutrition, and health, a gigantic issue area that you're dealing with here as well as other places. And of course, the role of trade and globalization and America's role in the world. It was Will Rogers who once said, "America has two of the greatest friends in the world. They are the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans." Well, that is no longer true, my friends. America must be engaged, actively engaged in the world. And efforts to withdraw, to become unilateral, are not only not healthy for America, but dangerous for the rest of the world as well. And I know that there are a lot of international students in this group. Would you raise your hands if you're not from the United States of America? And let's give them a big hand, because it's really important that we respect the role of international students as well. And so many other issues, from malnutrition and hunger, which has been close to my heart, to climate change, which is real, but can be dealt with science and with good judgment and good policy. So while every university in the country needs to engage on all these issues, Kansas State has a particular role and a particular place in ensuring that these issues can provide food for a hungry world, provide food sustainably for a hungry world, and provide food sustainably for a hungry and peaceful world as well. I just want to talk about a few quick things, because my friend Carol Shanklin, the Dean of the Graduate School, I can feel her looking at me like, "Glickman, you're talking too long." So I will try to abbreviate this as much as possible. My first point has to do with higher education, generally. And I know I must be speaking to the choir, but we have a lot of assets in America. Best people, great landmass, everything about us is great. But one of the things that makes us uniquely great is this extraordinary system of higher education in the United States of America. And we neglect it at our peril. Our ability to have strong colleges and universities, even though the world is changing in education, is integrally related to how strong America will be in the future, because it will produce people who can lead this country in the years and generations to come. Students from all corners of the earth flock to our schools to learn. And of course, people from our own country get an invaluable education. And so if one of the other things, second thing I've learned is the importance of higher education, the importance of adequate funding, which is largely a state issue. And I make a plea to make sure that our state government recognizes the importance of higher education, the respect for science, which is cross-jurisdictional, but people who don't believe in science are people who want to move backwards in life, and that is obviously not healthy for our country as well. And also, even with science, respect for the arts, because you really can't have a whole person without knowing literature, the arts, and the other things in life that make you a human being as well. Now, I come from Washington, D.C., and things have been tough there lately. Issues like civility, tolerance, respect, thoughtful rhetoric, bipartisanship, working together. These are really the ingredients that are needed to form a well-functioning government and to be successful as an individual in life, to run a good university. All these things, respecting, tolerating each other. And I noticed one of the pictures of me, I saw it before, but it didn't really hit me, was a picture with me and George H.W. Bush. Okay, so I want to just talk about that for a little bit, because I'm a Democrat, he was a Republican, but I thought he was one of our great presidents. I liked him a lot, and he stood for the right kind of values that we need in the country. In 1988, when Bush was inaugurated as president, he gave a list of the qualities he most cherished to one Peggy Noonan, a columnist. You may have seen her on television. She's on quite a bit on the cable news, who wrote his speech. And he just said, I'm not going to give you, George Bush wasn't the kind of guy that would give people long speeches. He didn't talk that way. He talked in paraphrasing and in clauses. But he gave her a bunch of words to write. And some of those words are words that I think are worthwhile for all of you to think about as you go through your life. Words like, and I'm going to say them in the order that he gave them to her to write about. Family was number one. Kids, grandkids, love, decency, honor, pride, tolerance, hope, kindness, loyalty, freedom, caring, heart, faith, service to country, fair play, strength, healing, and excellence. And he said, go write me a speech based on those words. Well, those words are good words for us all, for any leader, for any president of the United States, for any president of a university. And it's something to think about as we look to his particular legacy. Even though our political system is a bit rough in Kansas and in the country as a whole, in some sense it was meant to be that way. Our founding fathers had this idea they did not want to centralize power in one place. So they set up this subject, as our political scientists know, of separation of powers. And they had three equal branches of government. It's almost as if they wanted 1 foot on the brake and 1 foot on the accelerator at all times. And that was to make sure that we would have freedom and democracy and liberty, and we wouldn't have despotism in this country. But that only works if the grease of compromise and consensus is part of our political system. It's good that people can sometimes be partisan. It's good that we have strong differences of points of view. It's not good when it leads to gridlock. So I guess my second message is the importance of these qualities to live your life trying to do your best to not only hold fast to your own principles, but reach consensus as well. There was an agriculture commissioner in Texas named Jim Hightower. He was kind of a guy that he used to pal around with Willie Nelson, and they used to smoke things that used to not be legal in this country, but now is somewhat legal in some parts of the country. And he once said that there is nothing in the middle of the road except a yellow stripe and a dead armadillo. And I used to think, well, how about me? And then I thought about, how about Dwight Eisenhower? How about Bob Dole? How about Nancy Casaubon? How about John Carlin, Bill Graves, Mike Hayden, Bob Docking and the whole Docking family, Governor Sebelius, Congressman Slattery, Congressman Moore? Kansas has been kind of the fulcrum of what I call moderate consensus-making politicians. And when we go off that spectrum, we get into trouble. And so I guess one of my messages for you is, in addition to these qualities that George Bush told his speechwriter to write, is being in the middle of the road is not necessarily a bad place to be. And in this regard, I want to commend our senior senator from Kansas, Pat Roberts, who has been working like the dickens to get a farm bill passed, a farm bill that's fair to farmers, but also fair to the hungry and the people who need assistance in life to make it through from day to day. He's proven that you can be in the middle of the road to achieve things, and it's the kind of image that I would hope that you would all take with you. And my final point has to do with the sense of humor. Crises escalate when people take themselves too seriously. The business of public policy is often turning lemons into lemonade. And the only way you're going to really be able to do that is if you have some sense of self and self-deprecating humor. Great leaders of all stripes have good senses of humor. Almost all leaders who don't succeed don't know how to smile and don't know how to tell a joke on himself. And I'm reminded when I was Secretary of Agriculture, Bill Clinton used to go around and telling people, he said, only he could ask a Jewish Secretary of Agriculture to actively promote the pork industry. And I did that with great relish because it was good for America. I didn't have to eat it, but I was going to sell it to anybody, certainly, who could eat it. And it's also how you respond to bad circumstances. So when I was in the cabinet, I turned out to be the most assaulted, attacked member of the Clinton cabinet. People were after me like they weren't after the head of the CIA or the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff or anybody else. I had people who one woman threw a tofu cream pie at me at a National Nutrition Summit. It skipped me, it grazed Bob Dole, and it hit former Secretary Shalala on the back. And she called me a pimp for the meat industry. And I looked at Dole and I said, Bob, I don't think we're in Kansas any longer. And then I had another situation where a group of protesters against GMOs, genetically modified organisms, shows you that things haven't changed too much in 25 years, at a World Food Summit in Rome, threw genetically modified seeds at me and about 15 other people standing in the front row, then totally stripped naked, and had written on their bodies, of course I didn't look, but they had written on their bodies, no gene beans and the naked truth. And this was on CNN and other networks all over the world and all over the country, and we were in Rome when it happened. And the next day I get a call from my mother, the one who always wanted me to be a doctor, who told me, told you shouldn't have taken that job, it's too dangerous. And then she said, your father wants to talk to you. And my father gets on the phone and says, what did it look like? So, part of life is responding to events with the kind of awareness that you're not the most important person in the world, but you can still make light of yourself, and you can still smile and be friendly. And if people like you, they're much more likely to do what you want them to do. It's a good lesson in persuasiveness. So I want to close. Some of you saw that I spent a little time in the motion picture industry. Not as a movie star, I want to make that clear. I was more of a lobbyist for the industry. But there are two movies that I think are worthwhile thinking about, especially for the graduates who are moving on to work. One was the movie The Graduate. Any of you remember that movie with Dustin Hoffman? And in that movie, there's this poor, aimless guy. He doesn't know what to do with his life. And his father-in-law tells him there's one secret to success. And he says, what is it? Remember the word? Plastics. Okay, that was kind of the generation of the 1970s. It's like one thing is going to make you successful. And of course, we learned that there is no such thing as one thing. Plastics are now not necessarily the best thing in the world in terms of sustainability. And there are many other ways to deal with this problem. If somebody once said, for every complicated problem, there is a simple and a wrong solution. Plastics was a simple and a wrong solution. So as you go through life, be flexible enough to recognize that not everything you believe in now is necessarily going to be the same 5 or 10 or 15 years from now. And the final point I would say is the movie Schindler's List. And at the end of that movie, when all of the occupants of the concentration camp are released, and the German who was responsible for keeping them alive, he gets very, very emotional, upset, and he said, I didn't do enough. I could have saved more. To which the leader of the group of people there looked at him and said, you did more than you needed to do. He said, and he quoted from a book a moral book in the Jewish Talmud when he says, you saved a lot of people. And the Talmud says, if you save one life, you save the entire world. And so what you've got to realize is maybe not all of you are going to cure cancer overnight, or you're not going to triple and quadruple yields overnight, or you're not going to change the laws of physics overnight, but you will play a part in changing the world. Each one of you are equally important in that process. And I hope you think about that as well every single day of your life. The last thing I mentioned is I got a text from my son this morning. He's not here with us. His mother is, but he's not. And he said, Dad, congratulations. You're a wildcat now. And so now that I'm a wildcat, I can tell my fellow wildcat graduates, congratulations, best of luck to you in the future. Thank you all very much.
Stay here just a second. find my notes. Secretary Glickman, Honorary Doctorate, Dr. Glickman, please accept this gift for our appreciation for being our commencement speaker today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Join me in congratulating Dan. I would like to extend special greetings to the students who are graduating today and cannot be here due to military service or work-related responsibilities. Many of them are participating virtually, as are their family members of the graduates. Please join me in saying thank you to these graduates and congratulations in their absence. Join me in welcoming Amy Button-Renz, President and CEO of the Alumni Association.
Thank you, Dean Shanklin. I'm pleased to be part of this special day and offer congratulations on behalf of the K-State Alumni Association, representing over 280,000 graduates and friends who will be your lifelong K-State family. Today, as you receive your degree, we are honored to recognize you and all you have accomplished. If this is your first degree from K-State, we also welcome you into a new relationship with your alma mater. Our mission at the Alumni Association is to lead and inspire lifelong involvement that will benefit Kansas State University and all members of our Wildcat community. I would like to share the 3 core values that guide us in our mission to help keep you connected with K-State. The first value is link. The Alumni Association provides the lifelong link that alumni depend on to remain connected. You can stay in touch through hundreds of alumni activities held on campus, around the country, and internationally. Another value is tradition. You will likely celebrate a few traditions this weekend as you sing the alma mater or take KSU photos at your favorite spot on campus. You may also have fond memories of doing the Wabash at a K-State sports event or rubbing the nose of the bronze Wildcat statue at the Alumni Center for good luck on a test or to ensure a Wildcat victory. As the keepers of tradition, we also hope you will have a chance to visit the Alumni Center to experience all of the wonderful traditions kept there, including our newest addition, a stained glass mural designed by a 2016 graduate, Marcus Gilbert, which pays tribute to the beauty of our state and the K-State campus. The third core value is purple. For K-Staters, it's more than a color. It's a symbol of pride, connection, and family. When you see someone wearing purple, wearing a K-State class ring, or sporting a K-State license plate, you will feel that sense of family. In recognition of your graduation, the Graduate School and the Alumni Association are providing you with a complimentary 1-year membership to the Alumni Association. We hope you will enjoy the membership benefits and continue to be an active member. K-State alumni are among the most loyal in the nation. In fact, our membership ranks number 4 among the Power 5 universities and number 1 in the Big 12 for the percentage of graduates who are members. That loyalty is shared worldwide by generations of K-Staters who have the same passion for K-State that you feel today as you receive your degree from one of the finest universities in the nation. The Alumni Association is also pleased to present you with an exclusive alumni pin. As you go through life and your titles and addresses change, please be sure to keep us updated. We want to make sure you are always connected to your K-State family. Congratulations and go Cats.
Thank you, Amy. Please join me in welcoming Emmy Pascal, President of the Graduate Student Council.
Thank you, Dean Shanklin. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for being a graduate student at K-State. Thank you for being graduate teaching assistants, graduate research assistants, and just phenomenal students. Many of you in this crowd have been a source of inspiration for me and my own career. And with that, we know our students are very important to us. And given I have to teach a class in about 45 minutes, this will be very short. To my peers, your family, and your friends, and let us not forget our faculty Here you are at yet another exciting commencement. For some of you, this is your second. For others, it may be your third. And I don't know why, maybe fourth or fifth, maybe sixth or more. We like degrees in this crowd. This afternoon, it is my pleasure, on behalf of the Graduate Student Council, to offer my sincerest congratulations on receiving your degrees. It is an honor to be a part of today's commencement ceremony and to recognize the hard work and accomplishments of the graduate students here at Kansas State University. As your Graduate Student Council President, I've had the privilege of working closely with many of you and the honor to get to know you at our many events throughout the year. As such, I want to extend a special thank you to those of you who have served in leadership roles and service roles and those who have attended these many activities. Without your involvement, the Graduate Student Council would not be the organization it is today. It is your service and participation that has contributed to an increasingly wonderful quality of life at K-State and to making this experience the best it can be. Your unique role as a graduate student here has permitted you to contribute to your field, your department, and the well-being of the K-State family. I will close by saying thank you to each of you for being part of this wonderful community. Congratulations on your accomplishments and best wishes for a prosperous future. Thank you.
As a research institution, Kansas State University has a responsibility and obligation to provide not only high-quality undergraduate education, but to offer advanced education to students who have the ambition and intellectual curiosity to deepen their knowledge and command of their discipline. As our graduates know, this pursuit is demanding, yet invigorating process. I anticipate our graduates will remember their time in graduate school, as I still do mine today, as one of the most exciting yet humbling time of my career. Many have contributed to your completing your advanced degree today. Your family, the friends and colleagues that you've made while at K-State, and many others. Graduates, please acknowledge those who have supported you in the pursuit and completion of the degree that you're receiving today. Another important group we need to recognize at this time is the students' mentors, the graduate faculty of the university who have worked closely with these graduates and contributed in significant ways to the completion of the studies we officially recognize today. Graduate faculty, please stand so we can show our appreciation for mentoring these graduates with a round of applause. Please stand. Thank you for your service. We will now recognize the Master of Fine Art, Doctorate of Philosophy, and Doctor of Education degree candidates. These candidates will advance to the platform to be hooded. We believe it is appropriate that this final ceremonial honor is performed by the graduate's major or co-major professor in recognition of the contributions the faculty member or members have made in the development of these scholars. The graduates will then be presented their diplomas. Candidates, please stand. President Myers, on behalf of the graduate faculty of Kansas State University, I am pleased to present to you the Doctoral and Masters of Fine Arts degree recipients of fall 2018.
Thank you, Dean Shanklin. By the authority of the people of Kansas and the Kansas Board of Regents, and upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty, I am pleased to confer Kansas State University degrees upon you, the graduating class of fall 2018.
Candidates, you now may be seated until the marshal directs you to stand, be hooded, and receive your diploma. Please remember to bring your hood to give to your major professor and your reader card to the stage.
Doctor of Philosophy in Biochemistry, Eritri Majumdar, hooded by Philip E. Kleba, co-hooded by Celeste M.C. Newton. Nicole Marie Green, hooded by Erica Geisbrecht. Doctor of Philosophy in Veterinary Pathobiology, Pengcheng Sheng, hooded by Ying Feng. Doctor of Philosophy in Veterinary Physiology, Michael Kleinhens, hooded by Hans Kotze. Doctor of Philosophy in Agricultural Economics, Nick Pates, hooded by Nathan Hendricks. Doctor of Philosophy in Agronomy, Anuj Chalua, hooded by Ramasamy Perumal. Irina McDonald, hooded by Duhong Min. Prajaye Prajapati, hooded by Eduardo Alvarez Santos. Doctor of Philosophy in Animal Science, Roger Andrew Cochran, hooded by Cassandra Jones. Doctor of Philosophy in Entomology, Philip John Freda, Jr., hooded by Theodore Morgan. Loe Katan Kalaf, hooded by C. Michael Smith. Doctor of Philosophy in Food Science, Jingwen Xu, hooded by Weiken Wang. Xiaoyu Su, hooded by Weiken Wang. Doctor of Philosophy in Genetics, Brintha Parasumana Girinathan, hooded by Revati Govinda. Doctor of Philosophy in Grain Science, Tesfeya Melek Tadesi, hooded by Julia Dugan. Doctor of Philosophy in Horticulture, Minying Xiang, hooded by Jack Fry, co-hooded by Megan Kennelly. Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry, Zi Li, hooded by Daniel Higgins. Jin Yu, hooded by Stefan Bossman. Doctor of Philosophy in Geography, Thomas Barclay Larson, hooded by John Harrington, Jr. Heidi Elizabeth Mell, hooded by Marcellus Caldas, co-hooded by Cynthia Annette. Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics, Jason Clemens, hooded by Nathan Albin. Doctor of Philosophy in Physics, Elena Rafik, hooded by Tim Bolton. Doctor of Philosophy in Psychology, Elena Alexeyevna Knaisev, hooded by Heather Bailey. Jared Peterson, hooded by Lester Lasky. Ryan Ringer, hooded by Lester Lasky. Doctor of Philosophy in Sociology, Sandra Yesenia Galta, hooded by Spencer Wood. April Nicole Terry, hooded by L. Susan Williams. Doctor of Philosophy in Adult Learning and Leadership, Keandria Meklish, hooded by Kakali Bhattacharya. Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling and Student Development, Gregory Lee Bonner, hooded by Jody Huey. Sarah Lancaster, hooded by Judy Huey. Paul Maxfield, hooded by Doris Carroll, co-hooded by Kakali Bhattacharya. Doctor of Philosophy in Curriculum and Instruction, Amy Sindridi, hooded by F. Todd Goodson. Alan Evan English, hooded by Brad Burenhade. Stacy Marie Horton, hooded by Jana Fallon. Yuan Zhao, hooded by Debbie Mercer. Doctor of Education and Educational Leadership, Brad Neuenswander, hooded by Kakali Bhattacharya, co-hooded by Debbie Mercer. Kellen James Adams, hooded by David Thompson, co-hooded by Debbie Mercer. Heather Calvert, hooded by Kakali Bhattacharya. Gary Richmond, hooded by Kakali Bhattacharya. Roger Andre Singh, hooded by Donna Augustine Shaw. Doctor of Philosophy in Biological and Agricultural Engineering, Chelsea Kiana Dixon, hooded by Lisa Wilkin. Young Lu, hooded by Zefei Lu. Kelsey Rose McDonough, hooded by Stacy Hutchinson. Tobias Ibong Oker, hooded by Stacy Hutchinson. Doctor of Philosophy in Chemical Engineering, Zara Alauda, hooded by Keith Hahn. Haider Alatabi, hooded by James H. Edgar. Yishao Li, hooded by James H. Edgar. Song Lu, hooded by James H. Edgar. Doctor of Philosophy in Civil Engineering, Ala Eldin Abueleo, hooded by Haider Rashid. Hussam Al-Sharif, hooded by Haider Rashid. Mohammed Zaki, hooded by Haider Rashid. Tri Van Tran, hooded by Stacy Kuleza. Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical and Computer Engineering, Kim Randall Fowler, hooded by Stephen A. Dyer, co-hooded by Eddie Fowler. Kumar Zala, hooded by Bala Natarajan. Wenji Cheng, hooded by Bala Natarajan. Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering, Shi Chen, hooded by Melanie Derby. Doctor of Philosophy in Nuclear Engineering, Nathaniel Scott Edwards, hooded by Douglas McGregor. Doctor of Philosophy in Human Ecology, Bassem Azmi Saad Batros, hooded by Kevin Roberts. Naiqueen Lin, hooded by Kevin Roberts. Doctor of Philosophy in Human Ecology, Family Studies, Rajad Abdulhamid Mohammed Hanoun, hooded by Walter Shum, co-hooded by Karen Myers-Bowman and Adnan Al-Kahari. Sarah Coburn, hooded by Melinda Markham. Doctor of Philosophy in Human Ecology, Kinesiology, Jacob Troy Caldwell, hooded by Carl Addy. Doctor of Philosophy in Human Ecology, Lifespan Human Development, Justin Speece, hooded by Rick Scheit. Doctor of Philosophy in Human Nutrition, Nutritional Sciences, Javier Abello, hooded by Mark Weiss, co-hooded by Mark Haub. Doctor of Philosophy in Human Nutrition, Public Health, Physical Activity, Julian Joyce, hooded by Sarah Rosenkrantz. Doctor of Philosophy in Personal Financial Planning, Randy Chemetz, hooded by Stuart Hickman, co-hooded by Maurice McDonald. Christina Elaine Glenn, hooded by Stuart Heckman, co-hooded by Sonia Luter. Robert Rodermund, hooded by Sonia Luter.
Sorry?
Congratulations to each of you and best wishes in your future. Let's recognize our doctoral graduates one more time. We will now recognize the master's degree recipients. Candidates for the master's degrees, please stand and remain standing. President Myers, on behalf of the graduate faculty of Kansas State University, I am pleased to present the master's degree recipients of fall 2018.
Thank you, Dean Shanklin. By the authority of the people of Kansas and the Kansas Board of Regents, and upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty, I am pleased to confer Kansas State University degrees upon you, the graduating class of fall 2018.
Candidates, you now may be seated until the marshal directs you to receive your diploma. Please bring your reader card to the stage with you.
Master of Science in Veterinary Biomedical Science, Krishani Pereira. Sarah Elizabeth Remfrey. Kaylin Capps. Master of Agribusiness, Matthew Ching Un Chen. Jennifer Lynn Lincoln. Master of Science in Agricultural Economics, Berlanle Hadija Hatalurla. Emily Ann Carls. Ye-Chin Kin. Master of Science in Agricultural Education and Communication, Caitlin Nicole Maivas. Master of Science in Agronomy, Reshma M. Antoni. Master of Science in Animal Science, Allison Whitney Hobson. Master of Science in Food Science, Danielle Nicole Bauer. Haley Nicole Davis. Bethany J. Griffin. Gabriela Magosi. Caitlin Janice Stoll. Master of Science in Grain Science, Spencer Smith. Chiwei Shu. Master of Science in Horticulture, David Edward Lowen. Master of Science in Plant Pathology, Christian Webb. Master of Arts in English, Gavin Colton. Master of Arts in History, Cameron Stutzman. Master of Arts in Modern Languages, Gaida Alaskar. Master of Music, Darren James Entz. Grant Matthews. Rachel Jane Taha. Master of Public Administration, Wahida Akhtar. Maury Exline. Dana Blair. Master of Science in Biochemistry, Lena Alkotami. Master of Science in Chemistry, Christopher Satterfield. Master of Science in Geology, Christopher Wireman. Master of Science in Mass Communications, Miranda Lynn Bauer. Ashley Ulmer. Master of Science in Mathematics, Gadir Aburamya. Master of Science in Psychology, Victoria Lee Arnold. Janelle Becker. Jessica Chase. Jana Cordapasi. Crystal Ann Hong. Master of Science in Statistics, Nelson Walker. Zihan Zhang. Master of Accountancy, Melissa Marie Hamilton. Annie Huang. Taylor Jean Oliver. Tyler Strecker. Master of Business Administration, Stephen David Alexander. Josh Barlow. Joel Byford. Michael Clausen. Michelle Jean Harper. Keegan Reese Keeker. Robert Lewis Landry. Deborah Lewis. Francisca Sissy Long. Stephanie Lopez. Jeremy Lynn Nordis. Fei Peng. Jessica Renee Pickrell. Bobby Rose. Nathaniel Sneathan. Natalie Stanley. Kara Stuckey. Kenrick Thompson. Charlene Whiteside.
Thank you.
Fratina Williams. Yucheng Xu. Master of Science in Academic Advising, Jennifer Brown. Alicia Lee Hadley. Owen Jordan. Katie Randall. Michaela Scott Kradiger. Master of Science in Adult Learning and Leadership, Lindsay K. Chard. Stephen Franklin. Shelley Fritz. Jared Charlton Larpenter. Dana Parker. Robert Pugh. Ashley Alexis Richter. Chelsea Todd. Master of Science in Counseling and Student Development, Tara Marie Kaufman. Laura Michelle Douglas. Lauren Elizabeth Harmon. Connor Statz. Master of Science in Curriculum and Instruction, Samantha Joanne Bendrick. Stephen M. Birkland. Gila Lee Doden. Catherine Dwinnell. Michael Leroy Elder. Ashley Patricia Hurley. Tegan William Nurser. Tracy Lynn Perez. Ashley Marie Roverosa. Master of Science in Educational Leadership, Amy Lee Alfrey. John Efton Alfrey. Jordan Jameson Burr. Caitlin Marie Downey. Kimberly Freeland. Sheila Bertelson. Hollyann Sewell. Danny Simon. Sarah Williams. Master of Science in Special Education, Kelsey Ann Hattisall. Blake Morgan Madsen. Erin Mahan Morse. Megan Elizabeth Hercune. Sarah Elaine Slagle. Lacey K. Snow Stockton. Master of Science in Dietetics, Kaylee Rochelle Johnson. Master of Science in Family and Community Services, Ursula Bowe. Master of Science in Family Studies and Human Services, Kelsey Bingenwalt. Brianna Rebecca Craig. Ashley Edelman. Ellen Elizabeth Franken. Lisa Miller Lawrence. Sabrina Rinaldi. Rebecca Sorensen. Chelsea Yoakum. Master of Science in Gerontology, Joellen Argebright. Aubrey C. Mentis. Master of Science in Kinesiology, Dakota Joe Coates. Garrett Michael Lovoy. Taylor Ann Rand. Master of Science in Nutrition, Dietetics, and Sensory Sciences, Mitha Nasam James. Master of Science in Personal Financial Planning, Sean Anthony Best. Stacy Lynn Collada. Master of Public Health, Ganyarat Jamrat Wiranrat. Michelle Colgan Hall. Alexis Zuvala. Professional Science Master in Applied Science and Technology, Tina Meyer. Michael Thomas Payton. Master of Science in Architectural Engineering, Hunter Dale Wheeler. Master of Science in Biological and Agricultural Engineering, Jacob Schwint. Jonathan Michael Zeller. Master of Science in Chemical Engineering, Michael Curtis. Chaoran Huang. Kimberly Marie Yeager. Master of Science in Civil Engineering, Brandon Gardells. Master of Science in Computer Science, Naresh Giri. Atef Khan. Vera Patel. Master of Science in Industrial Engineering, Candace Taylor Keeker. Suyin Su. Lauren Ashley Wagner. Jingyi Zhou. Agandar Delhi. Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Seth Martin Oneramus. Master of Software Engineering, James Michael Lestraps. Thaddeus Thomas Tuck. Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering, Palab Datta. Joshua Adam Welch. Abdelrahim Adnan Al-Kiyari.
Congratulations to each of you. We wish you all the best as you go out into the world and make your unique mark. We hope each of you will stay engaged at Kansas State University. Seek opportunities to serve as mentors to students. Keep your mentor updated on your successes and recruit more excellent graduate students to Kansas State University and undergraduates as well. Remember, you are our best ambassador and recruiter. I encourage each of you to be active members of the K-State family in the manyest ways that you can do so, through your talents and your gifts to support future graduate students and to enhance the graduate student experience. Please join me one more time as we recognize all of our graduates for fall of 2018. I would like to take this final opportunity to express my appreciation for all those who have contributed to the success of today's ceremony. I want to thank the marshals, members of the graduate school team, the staff in marketing and communication, and the staff of the provost's office, who have all worked very hard for an orderly conduct of the ceremony. And above all, on behalf of the faculty, I want to thank you, our graduates, for sharing a part of your life with us. We ask the audience to please remain seated until the graduates and faculty and the platform party have made their way to the concourse. That would be after we sing the alma mater. Now everyone please stand and join Miss Morgan Higgins in the singing of our alma mater as we close our ceremony this afternoon. The words are printed on page 3 of your program.